Musical talent has long run in the veins of viral sensation Makenzie Phipps, and following in the footsteps of her uncle, country music songwriter Ron Simons, Phipps has long been known as the little girl with the big voice in her home state of Virginia. And Makenzie has grown into a young woman whose talents shine brighter with each and every song she puts out. And from her viral covers of Amazing Grace and Travelin Soldier, and to her absolutely beautiful single, Maybe, there is no doubt that this is just the beginning for Makenzie Phipps within a music genre custom made for her voice and her sound. But she sets up the scene for the blissful holiday season with the release of her latest festive single, Christmas Snow. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome country music rising star, Makenzie Phipps. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate that
Well,
very,
I
very long
must
intro.
say, Makenzie, that I have been listening to your music, and I truly, absolutely, sincerely, and honestly love your song Maybe. And I don't think I've heard a country ballad that good in the last few years. So job well done.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Well, how did the song Maybe actually come to be?
So, the drummer of my band, who is also my backup singer and guitarist for my duo shows, Shane Begley, he had written this song and he had introduced it to me. And, at the time we had so many different things going on, so, we kind of put it to the side. And my mom, she actually went over and saw it and she was like, y'all should definitely work up this song. So one day I got to looking at the lyrics and he played it for me and I moved around some of the wording arrangements with it and I put some more accompaniment to it and we went into the studio and we recorded it and we got to shoot the music video to it, so that was a very, very exciting thing. And just this September, maybe actually got nominated for a Josie Music Award and it won Female Country Song of the Year, so that was very, very exciting.
Wow, well, congratulations on that. And since you bring up some of the songwriting, so let me ask you this. Do you have a particular process of writing or co-writing and also for choosing songs to record?
So, whenever I write songs, I have to always write based off of personal experience. I can never just like sit down and come up with something. The only song I've actually ever done that to was Christmas Snow, and we'll get to that songwriting process in a bit. But as far as just other original songs I've written, they typically just randomly come to me. I'll have like an idea or something in my head that I've experienced in my life and it'll just linger for so long to the point where I'm like, I have to figure out something. I have to write something about this certain event that has occurred in my life and I just go from there. So it's a very, very interesting process to say the least.
Well, with some songwriters, I know that some of them, they literally write daily. And then others, they only write when something just kind of hits them, or maybe they have a notepad or a tape recorder by the bed because they've dreamed of a lyric and they need to wake up and write it down really quick. Uh, do you write every day, or is it just something that just that if you see something, hear something, or experience something, it's like, whoa, there's a song there. Let me start working on that.
Yeah, it's basically like that second option. Um, I try, I try to write. I'm right now getting in a pattern where I'm trying to write at least one song a month. But just like with my mom, recently I decided that I was going to put myself up to the challenge and write an upbeat song because a lot of my songs are kind of slow. But I really, really enjoy slow music because I feel like it relates to the audience better. It's more emotional. So I was put up to the challenge to write an upbeat song, and my mom was like, "You gotta finish this song," and I was like, I don't work that way. I was like, it has to hit me. But I was able to actually finish that song, I believe. I had written the verse of it and the chorus of it in like 20 minutes. And then I put it to the side. And then I wrote the rest of the song in about half an hour. So that's kind of how it works, I guess, with my songs that I've come to realize is I'll write a segment of it, whether it's just like a line or a whole verse, and then like I just put it to the side, and then I guess it lingers from that point on, and I'm like, I have to finish it. So
Well,
it doesn't take long at all, but
so do you write all of your own music, or do you ever sit down with other songwriters to come up with new material?
well, so I got into the realm of working with other people just in music in general when I was at a young age, around 14 or 15. And I attended a music school which was dedicated specifically for kids and teens who were getting into music, learning instruments, wanting to learn how to perform and such. And they would have us sometimes co-write, but I never really was comfortable with it. And at that time, I really didn't write too many songs, so I kind of just put that to the side. And then I started my first band when I was 16, and that was actually when I happened to meet Shane. And the other guys in the band, they kind of wrote songs, they dabbled in them, but Shane was like the main songwriter in the band. So for years, he's always wanted to write songs with me, and I just don't have the right mindset, I guess, to work with somebody like one on one in the same room because I'm such a huge perfectionist that even when I do write a song, I hate playing it for anybody until I'm like 100% set on it. So I guess I have a fear, like an internal fear that if I write with somebody, I'm just gonna like completely take over or it's just not gonna be how I want it to be just yet. But I did co-write Christmas Snow with Shane, but that was a very interesting process that we will
Well,
talk about.
and definitely, but I want to kind of get a little bit more of your backstory. I was watching many of your videos, listening to your music. So, when did you get your first guitar?
I got my first guitar when I was 14 years old.
Was it a surprise or it was something that you asked for?
So it was something that I asked for. I started, the first instrument I learned how to play was the piano, and I started taking lessons when I was 10. So I dealt with that. And, I always told myself, I was like, I'm never going to play a stringed instrument. I have no desire to do it. I told my family, I was like, I'm never going to do it. I just had a very, very deep love for the piano, and I still do, even though I don't play it much at all. But I was watching Camp Rock one day and I was like, maybe it'd be fun to try out a guitar. So I told my mom, I was like, I would like to maybe see how it goes with a guitar. And I have very, very, very small hands. It's probably very difficult to see through a camera, but my ring size is like a 4.5. So I have very, very small hands. So the guitars that I had dealt with, they have very, very wide necks. So it was very difficult for me to be able to get the finger placements. So when I had brought it to my mom's attention that I wanted to learn to play, she had gotten me a baby Taylor, which I used to take that to school all the time, and people used to joke and say, "Well, God, that's the biggest ukulele I've ever seen," because it's because it's so tiny. But it fit my hands so well when I first started learning the guitar, and I actually was able to, in my first guitar lesson, play Tin Man by Miranda Lambert. So I was able to pick up on it very, very quickly, and I was very, very fortunate with that because I know a lot of people tend to struggle sometimes when they're first learning an instrument. I struggled quite a bit when I was first learning piano, but at that point, whenever I would play with the baby Taylor, as I got older, I then was given a Martin by my Uncle Ronnie, and then I later invested in a Gibson. So we've moved up, but I definitely recommend to people if they're just starting out learning guitar, especially like kids and teens, I would definitely invest in a baby Taylor.
I think we actually have a baby Taylor here. We got tons of guitars here, but baby Taylors are great for, like you said, a lot of people. If it's small hands, or if it's just as a beginner, or for those that are a lot younger. But yeah, you definitely have moved up from. Well, of course, Martin and Gibson are both iconic guitar brands, especially in the areas of acoustics. I don't think you could go wrong with either a Taylor Martin or a Gibson for that matter. But when did you start singing and performing?
So I started singing when I was 4 years old, and I went to church with my mama, and that's kind of where I started to dabble with the piano a bit. But I started singing when I was four, and it never stopped. So I've been singing pretty much the entirety of my life. But I started performing when I was about 12 because I entered in a local state fair competition down in West Virginia. And that was actually, I remember I did an interview one time and the person asked me, they were like, has there ever been one moment in your life that like you just epically failed? And it happened to be this moment because I was so young and I was so new to the performing field and doing music and stuff. So it was a 2 round competition and I had made it into the second round, and I should have just stuck with the first song that I had sang for the first round, but I went with the second song. And I saw the pageant girl who was judging, and I guess I just got so nervous that I completely shook the entire time through that song. And I told people I sounded like a goat. It was horrible. But from that moment, I actually met the owner of the music school that I attended later that following year, which is in West Virginia. And like I said, they help kids and teens starting out in the music business, where they'll help them with vocal lessons or instrument lessons. And there was a anti-bullying group that I was in that would go around to different schools around the country or perform at different places around the state. So that kind of got me into the gist of performing. And then from that point on, I started performing when I was about 15.
Well, was it different between performing in front of someone that's judging you and performing before those that are just there to enjoy what you have to offer?
When I first started out, I had a very, very big fear of singing for people, especially even my family. They would always have me sing all the time. And I remember when I was younger, I always had to like turn around and sing. But I guess as I got older, the fear kind of went away. And especially when I entered my band when I was 16, that helped me a lot with dealing with stage fright and dealing with, just realizing this is what I love to do, and people can enjoy it or people can not necessarily enjoy it. But as long as I'm out there having a fun time and doing the best that I possibly can and conveying my music to the world and hopefully touching people's lives, it just got better as I went. So I'm not nervous at all with anything anymore. I've seen so many different things at this point with all of the performing scenes that I've played at. So I'm just kind of like, it's whatever. It's my life now, and I absolutely love it because I'm booked every single weekend and have been for years. So it's just kind of life at this point. I'm like, I just go in, I'm excited to do it, and I just roll with it.
Well, I was looking on your website, MakenziePhippsMusic.com, and I noticed that your tour schedule already goes into March of next year. So you look like you're rolling along pretty good now.
Yeah, I don't know the last time when you when you checked that, because now it's all the way to November. But then again, yeah, I just now hired a booking agent, and she has not stopped. She is doing a great job, to say the least. But it actually got to one point where we actually had to tell her, we were like, time out. We gotta figure this out. We gotta make sure that everybody in the band is able to do it. And yeah, we have
How many
just
dates?
recently.
How many dates do you have for 2022 now?
I haven't gotten the chance to recently count. I know I counted yesterday, and I have 29 band shows, but that doesn't count duo shows either. I think I'm almost at 50 shows for the
Well,
new year.
well, good for you. Let's talk about the brand new holiday single because you've got the Christmas theme going on behind you, and the new single is Christmas Snow. Tell us about it.
Yes. So, like I was telling you about the songwriting process, this was like probably one of the most interesting songs that me and Shane have ever written. So we had 1 week to write this song. And Shane is such a very, very talented songwriter and has been writing for years. So I told him, I was like, do you have any Christmas song we could work up? And he said, no, I do not. So I was like, okay, great. We're gonna have to come up with one. So we actually met one specific day to work on that song. and we sat for hours and we just had nothing. We could not write anything. And my mom had messaged me. She was like, I'm almost on my way home from work and I can't wait to see what y'all have come up with. And I was like, we have to leave. We have to go. We have nothing. We have nothing prepared. She's going to be so mad. But it got down to the very last day before we were supposed to leave to go record it in the studio. And I texted him at work and I said, we leave for the studio tomorrow. Like, you need to send me something. Send me anything. I was like, I don't care if it's a line. I don't care if it's a verse, a chorus, a whole song. I don't care. You need to send me something. You start it. I'll finish it. We'll go from there. Well, that day he sent me the first verse and the chorus. And I was home alone and I looked at it and I rearranged some words to fit the rhyme scheme. And I finished writing the rest of the song. I put the music to it. I had him come over. I showed him what I had. We went over it a couple of times and I was like, okay, it's not perfect, but we're going to go in the studio and we're going to hope for the best. But it definitely, at the end of the day, exceeded my expectations by a long shot because I just did not expect it to come out the way it did. I'm so happy with how it came out. I was very fortunate in the end to have Rhonda Vincent's dobro player added to it. So I was very thrilled with that aspect as well. But overall, I'm so excited with how it turned out. And I hope a lot of people are enjoying it during the holiday season.
Well, Christmas Snow is a fantastic song for this season, but I never thought about how hard or how difficult it is to actually write a Christmas song from scratch when you're probably writing it during a time that it's not even the holidays. I know a lot of people start recording things in June and July for the holiday season, and I just can't imagine trying to force yourself into thinking that, or forcing yourself to be in the holiday spirit, much less trying to write a song, because a lot of the Christmas albums that we see are basically people doing their versions of some of the most famous Christmas songs in the world. But to write one from scratch like you did, yeah, kudos to you for that.
Yes, we started writing the song in September. So that was such a busy time too, because we finished writing the song and then the next day we went down to Tennessee and we had to attend the Josie Music Awards that day. And then when our category got announced and we won our award, that same day we had to leave straight from the award show and go to the studio to record it.
Nothing like working under pressure, huh?
I mean, I guess it's to the point where, I think me and him work the best under pressure because it kills my mom so much, because we talk about in my house how my mom is so type A and she has a schedule for everything. She has everything in a nice fashion. She has things timed out, scheduled out, whereas me, I'm not that at all. I'm complete opposite. I'm like, it's going to get done. Whether it's on your time or my time, it's going to get done. Just trust me. Trust the process.
I can understand the type A because I am one. So I can understand about the scheduling, making sure everything is ready to go, just on and on and on. But what are your plans for 2022? Because I know that, your tour schedule has grown tremendously. So what else do you have plans for?
Well, I do plan to still keep adding shows. We're like adding shows every day and it has not stopped. So I'm hoping to be completely booked out for the year 2022. And I'm hoping to actually release an album in 2022 as well. I've been working on some new upcoming projects that I'm very excited for. I think it's going to be an awesome thing to do. And just getting more connected with people online, hopefully growing more of my social media platforms. And that's a lot that I'm going to have to deal with, but I'm ready to take on the challenge, to say the least.
Well, I know for a fact that you can do it. You have a lot of great people behind you. I know some of those people, and they are absolutely fantastic to work with. Ladies and gentlemen, with the release of Makenzie Phipps' latest festive single, Christmas Snow, Makenzie adds her unique sound to the beautifully written tune, making for the perfect combination of Southern sweetness and cozy Christmas delight. Her strong and vibrant vocals tell a heartwarming story during the cold winter days, placing comfort in the feeling of being in the arms of the one you love. Bright and romantic, the single captures just what it's like to fall in love during the holidays. And so for the rest of you, please head over to MakenziePhippsMusic.com to download her music and check out her amazing 2022 tour schedule. And as you don't want to miss seeing her when she comes to your city or town. And Makenzie, thank you so much for blessing us with your presence, and Merry Christmas.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. I really, really do appreciate it, and I hope you and your family have a very good rest of your holiday season.
Thank you, Makenzie. And ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for you to sit back and enjoy Makenzie Phipps' music video of Christmas Snow. We'll be right back after this.
We got wood on the fire and gifts underneath the tree. Snowflakes falling down and you're sitting next to me. The bitter cold is moved in, but it's warm inside this house, with the moon shining on the mountains through the clouds. I know that this night only comes around once a year, but to see your face tonight has me happy that I'm here. To see how easy it could be to slide under the mistletoe, but there's no rush tonight. We got each other in the snow. I have never felt this way for just anyone. Maybe it's the holiday and the spirit's just begun. The lights are blinking over us and the room is nice and bright as we dance around together on this Merry Christmas night. I know that this night only comes around once a year, but to see your face tonight has me happy that I'm here. To see how easy it could be to slide under a mistletoe, but there's no rush tonight. We got each other in the snow. I knew that this night would finally be here, just to see your face tonight. I can't help but love you, dear. To go under and share a kiss below the mistletoe. We got love and Christmas, we got each other in the snow. We got love and Christmas, we got each other in some snow.